What, baby? What? Hey, everybody. Claudia from the Wee Garden Homestead here. It is time to start a new quilt. Please ignore the open door next to me. She ran back in. I have a cat that got up in there and she didn't want to come out. She came out. I tried to close the door. She ran back in. I don't want to close it and lock her in because that would be a bad thing. So it's time for me to start a new quilt. After that sunflower quilt, I really need something quick and easy, kind of a no-brainer. So, she's over here now. So, I'm going to work on this baby quilt. I need it done by sometime in September. I can't remember when the baby is due, but I want to get it done and get it delivered. So, I've talked about it in a couple of other videos, a couple of whippets, saying that I needed to get going on it. And I don't remember if I said what pattern I was going to do, but I changed my mind. I needed something quick and easy. So I have these, I've got the table in between us here, this dinosaur print, and this is directional. So I had to make sure I went with, I thought about doing like a disappearing 9 patch, but then I'm flipping blocks and that was way too much thinking for me. So I have that, and then I have this blue that kind of looks like crinkly dinosaur skin maybe. And then I have this green that looks like woven like burlap. And I don't know if you can see it, but this green here looks like it's woven burlap. So these will go good together. And that's what I'm going to use. Where am I? That's what I'm going to use to make this baby quilt. And then I said, well, I need something quick and easy. So nothing with half square triangles, but I did go with quick as a wink 3-yard quilts, because they've always been quick as a wink when I've done them. I used this book for the Going to the Dogs, for the one with the paw print, and I had used this one. So I don't want to use that one. I don't want to use them twice. I want to go through all 4 books I have before I reuse it. I want to go through all the patterns before I reuse a pattern. So I'm going to do this one, Roman Holiday, and get a bigger picture of it. So there it is, Roman Holiday. So the dinosaurs, of course, are going to be these big black and white squares. And then the blue and the green, I'm not sure which is going to be which. I think the green is going to be where the white is, and the blue is going to be where the red is. I think that would set it off. I think that the green is brighter, so I'll put it where the white is. So I'm going to start cutting this. Yeah, I'll take you along for the ride. Shouldn't take very long, I don't think. So we'll get going and see what happens. Okay, so I have all of this cut for blocks, all of these cut for strip sets, strip assembly, block assembly, block assembly, strip assembly, block. Yep, these are all cut the way I need them. I did not cut the borders or the binding yet. I'll cut those when I get this together. Otherwise, I wind up misplacing things. So, to the sewing machine next. Okay, so this quilt top is put together. This blue looks kind of purple, but it's blue. This quilt top is put together except for the borders. Still got to cut those. Took me just a little under 2 hours. I stopped and I pressed and I trimmed as I went along on these blocks. So I put this on and then I trimmed, and then I put this on and trimmed, and then this on and trimmed, and then this on and trimmed, and then I put it together. I did have to rip one seam here. For whatever reason, I had it on the wrong end. I don't know how I did that, but I had to rip that out. So under 2 hours to put this together so far. I do still have to cut the borders and put them on. This quilt top is finished. I did the border, and the pattern called for a narrow border and then another slightly wider border. I just combined that into one wide border, and then I would have been the green, and I felt like the green on the green would have just been too much, so I just went with the blue because it kind of contrasts, because there's nowhere that the blue touches the blue that's in here. So I just went with the blue, and I'm going to use the green for the binding. I can't remember which one the pattern called for the binding, but they do that economy binding, and you cut it at like 1.25 inches, I think it is. And I like to do the 2.5 inch folded binding. So I'm going to use the green for the binding. I used a wider blue than the narrow green and the narrow blue. And I'm going to have to piece it back. So that's what's going to be coming up next. Yeah, the top is done. And thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you on the next one.